up? Welcome to the Tedeschi Trucks Podcast, or Tedeschi Trucks Podcast. Either one, either way. This is episode number 1, and I am Adam Choit. More social media accounts are probably coming soon for this podcast, but for now, it's at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram, and I'm Adam Choit on Instagram as well, if you want to follow me. And I have no affiliation with the band. This is not an official podcast of the band or anything. I'm just a passionate fan of Tedeschi Trucks Band. And if you're listening to this, I'm guessing there's a good chance that you might be too. Full disclosure, I do have some notes here. So if it feels like I'm reading, it's probably because I am. But anyway, I think this is a good time to launch this. Maybe it's a good time for podcasts. Gonna shoot for weekly with this, but yeah, being locked up in quarantine or whatever, social media and streaming and podcasts and internet content is kind of all we have for our entertainment. I feel fine. I'm healthy. I'm just trying to be smart and, of course, limit my human interaction. And I'm pretty much only going out for supplies at this point. Hope everyone is just staying safe and healthy out there. Godspeed to us all. Man, what a strange, scary time with this crazy coronavirus. At least we have each other, and at least we have music. But in terms of some more about me, I also have another podcast that I host and produce called People We Love, where I interview people from all walks of life. Most often stand-up comedians and other artists here in Los Angeles where I live. I talk to them about their lives and careers. It's casual conversation, but I also ask everyone to highlight one person who inspired or influenced them. It's been a lot of fun and really helped me grow as a person, connecting with all these interesting guests. People We Love. That's pretty much it. Check it out, peoplewelovepodcast.com. In terms of my background, I'm originally from Long Island, New York, and now reside in Los Angeles, California, and work in TV production. I've been in LA many years now. Pretty much per my peoplewelovepodcast.com about page, here's what I have there about myself. I grew up a completely well-adjusted person and always got good grades in school. After effortlessly breezing through childhood and my teen years, I entered Syracuse University's film program and left with a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. And if there's one thing people always associate with me, it's the fine arts. I have written multiple comedic short films and feature films, mostly unproduced, and my background includes training through Upright Citizens Brigade, Script Anatomy, UCLA Extension, blah, blah, blah. I also produced the activist documentary Where's My Crosswalk? That film actually went viral, locally, but still viral, catching the attention of Fox 11 News in LA, Curbed LA, and the Beverly Press. Soon enough, a new traffic signal and crosswalk was constructed at one of Hollywood's most dangerous intersections at Sunset Boulevard and North Martel Avenue. Most importantly, though, I enjoy creating memes, sometimes, playing guitar, eating baked salmon rolls, and watching and yelling at my favorite baseball team, the New York Mets. When they're playing, of course. But that's enough about me for now. Back to TTB, Tedeschi Trucks Band. I'm really hoping I don't get sued for using images and music for this. I'm happy to credit whomever. Amateur lawyers feel free to let me know what's okay and what's not okay with this stuff. I'll probably shy away from using any studio recordings for now, at least that's my initial thought. If you were wondering, though, what the opening music for this podcast was, it was, of course, Derek Trucks' slide guitar from Bound for Glory. I'll give you the details of that particular version of the intro for that song that I used. I'm going to butcher all these words, but according to archive.org, it was from the Amison Archaic Hall, Amagasaki City, at Hyogo Prefecture, Japan, from June 11th, 2019. That was a Tuesday, if you're wondering. And that show was uploaded by user Oira, O-I-R-A. And it's funny because I originally wanted to use that Bound for Glory Derek Trucks slide solo intro to be my alarm clock ringtone, so to speak, or whatever. But when messing around with it on my phone and on my computer, I couldn't really get it to be the right volume. And I wasn't sure if it would wake me up. So I kind of just forgot about that file and kind of that track for a while. And then I had the thought, maybe I could make that the music that I use, for every episode of this podcast, at least as I launch this thing. But for those who don't know, who exactly is Tedeschi Trucks Band? From their own Facebook page, this is what it says. After many years on the road, building separate, successful solo careers, Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi have united to form a new band with an extended pool of collaborators and friends. Well known for their outstanding live performances, the formidable husband and wife duo are now exploring new ideas together through songs rooted in the blues and infused with their own unique blend of Southern soul, American roots music, authentic rock and roll, and a touch of Florida swamp magic. That's a pretty damn good description, and I think they've lived up to that because I'm assuming the way it's written and in the tense, grammatically, that it was probably written sometime in 2010 would be my guess, or 2011 or 2009, who knows, but like around those times for sure. And they've lived up to that and then some for sure. And they also have the description that they are a 12-piece band that booms like a soul thunderclap. Yeah, that's accurate as well. And of course but they did start out as an 11-piece band, but are now 12. And I will give you the lineup for those who don't know. Susan Tedeschi, this is all from Wikipedia and my brain. Lead vocals, rhythm guitar, lead guitar. Derek Trucks, lead guitar. Tyler Greenwell, Falcon is the nickname, of course, his nickname. Drums, percussion. JJ Johnson, drums, percussion. 2 drummers. Mike Madison does harmony vocals, lead on some songs, of course, acoustic guitar. Mark Rivers, vocals. Kebby Williams, sax, now flute some. And of course, you got Gabe Dixon, currently on keyboards and vocals. Brandon Boone, bass. Ephraim Owens, trumpet. Elizabeth Lee, trombone. Alicia Shakur, vocals as well. So you got 3 backup vocalists, 3 horn section, 2 drummers, bass, drummers, 2 drummers. I think I said 2 drummers already. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing track. There's so many people here, but it all works for sure. I do enjoy the music, hence doing a podcast about them. And there are some former members of the band. Teal Burbridge played bass 2010 to 2012. Maurice Mobetta Brown played trumpet 2010 to 2015. Saunders Sermons trombone 2010 to 2015. Tim LaFay bass guitar 2013 to 2018. And last but not least, of course, Kofi Burbridge keyboards, flute 2010, 2019. There'll be more on them to come, and a lot more in Kofi Burbridge, who sadly passed away last year at the age of 57. And that was actually on February 15th, 2019, the day that Tedeschi Trucks' 4th album, Signs, was released. And speaking of their studio albums, they've released 4 studio albums. 2011's Revelator, 2013's Made Up Mind, 2016's Let Me Get By, and 2019's Signs. Revelator won a Grammy. And the band has won lots of awards and sold lots of albums, and sold lots and lots of tickets to God knows how many concerts, shows, festivals, etc., etc. In terms of my history a little bit, I remember hearing about Derek Trucks in college, when I was in college in the early 2000s. Me and Derek are about probably roughly the same age. I think he's slightly older. I forget exactly his age off the top of my head. But I remember hearing about him when I was in college in the early 2000s, but somehow never got hardcore into him or the Allman Brothers either at this point, though I kind of always liked blues and classic rock, and even remember being into, or at least, digging the Allman Brothers hits that I remember that got a lot of airplay on classic rock radio. It really wasn't until later, until my dad introduced me to Derek Trucks, actually. I was talking to him about slide guitar because was playing guitar for a few years at that point. He's like, you should check out Derek Trucks. And I remember the name. This must have been 2010, something like that. So I don't think I actually really listened to Derek Trucks. I think I saw him really live before I sort of started listening to any music, outside of that, on records or otherwise. So I found out about this King of Blues competition. It was like an amateur blues kind of shredding competition sponsored by Guitar Center at the old House of Blues in Los Angeles, which doesn't exist anymore. And part of the show was Tedeschi Trucks was going to play a set to close the evening. And I don't even know if they were Tedeschi Trucks Band at that point. It might have just been a show that Derek, Susan, I remember Mike Madison was there as well. And I guess probably the rest of Tedeschi Trucks Band as well. But who? I honestly don't remember for sure. But since that show, I've pretty much been all in with the band. And of course have, done deep dives into Derek Trucks Band, Susan's solo career, and, Derek with the Allman Brothers, and the whole Allman Brothers catalog of albums and live stuff in general has become a big part of my musical journey. And as I mentioned, I also play guitar. How good I am is probably relative. It's all relative, but I enjoy it. And considering since I've been playing since the early 2000s, I do feel like I should be better than I am, but all guitar players probably have those kinds of thoughts and feelings. But I definitely have fun with it, and I love it. Maybe I'm great, and I'm just really humble. Whatever. And lately, I've been learning to sing, too. That's been a process for sure. But that's been fun as well, and I'm working on it, It's tough, but I'm getting there. Baby steps, And in terms of me with Tedeschi Trucks Band live, I've been to about 20 shows, mostly in Southern California, here in Los Angeles, seen them in San Diego, Santa Barbara. I caught them the last time they were in Vegas as well, I want to say. I want to say that was in 2014. Get back to Vegas when life resumes, of course. And what this podcast will be, you ask? It will be me talking to myself sometimes. Talking by myself. Did I just say to myself? Anyway, and it will also be me talking to guests as well other times. It will be recaps of live shows when they resume, hopefully soon. And it will be other people sharing their love for Tedeschi Trucks Band and their experiences seeing the band live as well. I'm really open to talking to just about anyone, so long as they love Tedeschi Trucks Band and are cool people too, of course. This is really for all the fans, this podcast, and I want them to be a big part of this. And in terms of some other items and topics and ideas and thoughts and things that I've been brainstorming for some future episodes, I'll share those, and I've kind of touched on it a little bit already, but I'm sure there'll be some analyzing of the band's albums. I don't think I'm going to be like reviewing the band's albums. I'm not a musical journalist. I'm not going to like criticize the band or the music in a sense that, I think they should have had a guitar solo here or something there. That's not, or there was too much of this, not enough of that, or I don't know. Or it's not going to be about that for me. It's just going to be talking about really what the albums mean to me and what the music means to me and how I interpret it as, as something that has value in my life. Anyway, moving on from that, I'll talk about who the band's influences are, of course, and I'll talk about who Susan, Derek, and who the band has influenced musically themselves. We'll do some deep dives into Derek Trucks Band and his musical life before TTB, I'm sure. Same with Susan. Deep dives into her solo work, too. And, of course, deep dives into Derek with the Allman Brothers, and you can expect lots of Allman Brothers stuff here, too. And, of course, Eric Clapton and Derek and the Dominoes. And, of course, we're going to talk about other members of Tedeschi Trucks Band in addition to Susan Derrick. And expect Kofi Burbridge to definitely have a presence and be talked a lot about on this show. I just love this band. I love all their originals, the covers they do, all the members of the band. It's just an emotional, spiritual, fun experience seeing them and really just listening to their music. It like brings me to tears. It makes me stop my feet and feel really everything in between as well. I guess like alive. Maybe that's good. I feel alive when I'm not listening to the music too, but I think you guys know what I mean. And just watching the band, the way they share the stage, the way they carry themselves. I mean, I'm making these observations kind of from afar and just following them as a fan. It's not as if I know these people intimately, but just from, watching interviews and listening to the music and just watching concerts and just knowing what I know about them from a distance as a fan, just like the way they share the stage, the way they carry themselves, like I was saying, the way Derek leads the band. It's I'm in awe, and I can't tell you how much I admire them and just love the music. I listen to it every day, often seemingly all day. And this podcast will be evolving, I'm sure. And I'll try to be open to feedback without taking it personally, of course, that of which is critical. But I'm really looking forward to this venture. It just seems like the right time for this, for me. In a sense, like I was saying before, online content and digital content and stuff like podcasts is like what we're really going to have to be relying upon, I think, more than ever for our entertainment and just to keep our minds occupied during this crazy time. So yeah, be sure to subscribe or follow this podcast on whatever podcatcher, podfeed platform you listen to podcasts on, be it iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, etc. For now, check out at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram. Follow the show on there. And to get this out of the way, it's Tedeschi, pronounced Chi, not Chi. It's an Italian pronunciation, Susan Tedeschi. That's out of the way. I feel better now. But yeah, thanks for real for listening. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hang in there, everyone. I am Adam Choit, and this was Tedeschi Trucks Podcast, Episode 1. And more to come soon. Later.